and welcome to the monthly market report for February 2022. My name's Michelle Perez, and I'm with Remax Gold. And today, I'm going to be walking you through one of the most important topics in the housing market right now, forbearance. Forbearance is something that I've been keeping an eye on for a while, and I think today's data is really going to help articulate why we will not see a wave of foreclosures coming to the market. Now, I want to begin today with an update on how many loans are in the forbearance program. Take a look at this graph right here. Loans in forbearance have fallen below 1 million. That's massive. We're roughly at 780,000 loans in forbearance today, and that equates to only about 1.4 percentages of mortgages. If you think about where we started, over there in the red bars on the left, there were nearly 5 million homes in the forbearance plan in May of 2020, and we're down to about 780,000. So huge progress, and just one more way that shows the forbearance program has really helped homeowners change their situations, stay in their homes, and really be in a better place than they would have been in such a time of economic uncertainty. And this is vastly different than what we saw in 2008. So I want to share a quote with you from Black Knight that says, "As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to create uncertainty in the global economy, the overwhelming majority, 89%, of single-family homeowners who sought financial assistance through COVID-related mortgage payment forbearance plans have exited those plans." So many people, 89% of the people who went into the forbearance plan have exited, and that's massive, massive improvement. What I want to share today is a graph that shows us information about loans upon exiting the forbearance program. I want to break this down because this really walks you through what's happening as people are exiting the program today. So take a look at the green section and let's start there. 38.1% of homeowners exiting the forbearance plan are paid in full. So they've made their monthly payments, or they've paid off their loan. They've done something to bring their payments current, and they're in a great place. They're walking away, no issue. Now, 43.7% are workouts or repayment plans. That's the section in blue. This is the game-changing section. This is a section we didn't have the last time around when the housing bubble burst, because these are the homeowners who have been able to make a modification, a loan deferral, to go back to their bank and work in their bank, or their lender to change their situation and stay in their homes. This is huge. And what we've been seeing over time is the blue section is getting a little bit bigger than the green section. And that's because more and more people have been able to go back and work out an alternate plan. That's massive. Now, the percentage of homeowners that are still in trouble are in the orange section, 18.2%. But what this does mean is that the homeowners are exiting the plan without a loss mitigation plan. But on the safe side, what we know from Black Knight is that 93% of homeowners in the forbearance plan have at least 10% equity. So when you have that equity, you also have the opportunity to potentially sell your home, rather go into forbearance. So people sitting in the situation, 10% is kind of that tipping point, and you could sell your house. You could pay off your fees. You could maybe even walk away with a little cash in your pocket if you sell your home. And so that gives someone a different opportunity than going into forbearance. We have a very strong equity situation across the country right now, enabling that opportunity. So as we look at this graph and we think about how many homeowners are exiting the plan, that's happening. That reality is about 4 out of 5 homeowners are walking away just fine. Now, where I want to bring some additional context to this is in what the foreclosure situation looks like in a typical year in the U.S., because I think this really is going to start to shape up what we're talking about today versus what we had in 2008. Let me remind you, 9.3 million homes went into foreclosure the last time around when the housing bubble burst, and we're in a really different situation now. So remember that 9.3 million as I walk you through this next slide. What this says here is that 422,360 fewer foreclosures over the last year. So we have significantly fewer foreclosures today than we would even in a normal year. Let me break it down for you. So look at those first three red bars. The taller ones on the left, that's 2017, 18, and 2019. The number of foreclosures we had in those normal years leading up to the pandemic averaged just under 300,000. And so the unfortunate reality is that in this country, every year there are homeowners who do go into foreclosure process. They have a job loss or a challenging financial situation. Something happens where homeowners have to give their homes back to their bank or lender. In 2017 through 2019, that number averaged out to about 290,000. Now, if you look at 2020 and 2021, these were not normal years. This is where the forebearance program came into play, and there were far fewer foreclosures in each of those years. So, if you look at the red bar under 2020, there were 129,000 foreclosures in 2020. That was short 161,000 of what would be normal. 2021 through the third quarter is what we have data for right now. 29,000, so massively short. So that's where that 422,360 number comes from. And contextually, if you think about that, that is incredibly low. In fact, it's so low, I think the next graph really shows it well. Foreclosure activity is actually at an all-time low. So, look at the number over on the right side of the screen, 2021. Where we are so far, there are 151,000 foreclosure filings. Now, we never want any homeowner to go through those foreclosure process. We certainly don't want that to happen. We believe in home ownership and the value that it brings everyone. But if you put this into context and you look at those red bars, 2007 to 2015, millions of homeowners were going into the foreclosure process. This is vastly different from where we are today. Even in this number of 151,000, if it doubles, if it triples, if it quadruples, keeps going. We're nowhere near where we were when the housing bubble burst. And this is massively impactful, showing that the fundamentals of today's market are just very, very different. Now, I want to end with this quote because I think it really kind of brings it home. This is from CoreLogic, and it says, we may see a little bit of an uptick in foreclosure rates in 2022. Just an uptick, though, from an extraordinarily low level. We're not expecting to see a big increase. We expect delinquency rates overall on home mortgages to actually continue to remain quite low. And I mean quite low. That's exactly where we are today. The number of homes going into the foreclosure process, nothing like we saw in the housing crisis. Thanks to the forbearance program that gave homeowners the mortgage relief that they needed when they needed it most. So, I'm going to end right here. Thank you so much for joining me for the monthly market report. I hope these visuals were powerful. If you want to keep an eye on the market trends for Solano County, please visit resources.sellwithmichelle.com or text me at 707-208-2557. Once again, I'm Michelle Perez with RE/MAX Gold.